Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Sydney at Wandering Roots. So today's video is mostly just an update on what I've been doing in my garden and everything that has been changing, because a lot of things have been changing around here. A lot of my peppers are finally starting to produce fruit. My cucumbers died. It's been a whole thing. It's been a whole journey, and I would like to share it with you. I know that you can hear them, but the airplanes have been a lot more active lately, so there's probably gonna be a few times throughout this video where I get interrupted by a plane flying overhead. And you know, that's just what comes with living right next to an Air Force base, is you don't always get the peace and quiet that you would get if you lived in the country, which I don't necessarily mind it anymore. I don't really honestly hear them unless I'm trying to do something like this, and I'm just like, you probably can't hear what I'm saying. But usually when I'm just out here kind of spending time with my plants, I honestly like can't even hear them anymore. I just tone them out. They're just part of like a bird chirping now. It's the sound of freedom. So to start off with my cucumbers that have just completely died, somehow they like contracted. They got SpiderMites is what I'm pretty sure is what happened to them. They just got them and it just decimated them all. Like all the leaves withered up and died. I tried so hard to save it. I got some diatomaceous earth and I was like spraying it with some like bug killer. Like I was trying so hard to preserve them. They just didn't make it. They definitely died. So I've actually pulled those out yesterday, and I've left the dirt so far. I'm trying to just see maybe if I can salvage it and use it for something else, for like a fall garden. So as of right now though, it's just an empty pot of dirt that I'm just putting like back here in my corner. So that's just where the cucumbers are at. I was only really able to harvest 3 from that, and that was after vigorous hand pollination with Q-tips, and it was just a lot of work. For some reason bees are just not really attracted to my porch, and I think it's just the area that I'm in, and I think it just comes with just being where I'm at right now, is that I just really like they wouldn't pollinate. Like I was out here every single day with a Q-tip trying to hand pollinate, and it just didn't, like I only was able to get 3. So I'm gonna try to enjoy the 3 that I have and use them to the best that they're gonna be used for. I'm gonna eat them, but use them to the best of their ability. So the wind here is quite vigorous. We recently had a day where all it did was just blow wind with intensity. It was like 70 miles per hour. A lot of my plants took a hit. Like especially all the peppers, because I was at work, I was unable to like protect them and bring them inside. So a lot of my peppers got like blown over, and so I'm currently trying to salvage what I can still from that. And I lost a couple peppers, like fruit that were on one of my plants. I lost them just because the wind snapped it right off. Airplane. And so with the remaining peppers that I have, I'm trying so hard to keep them alive. And I've actually had one pepper, it's starting to ripen, it's turning red already, and it's on one of my hirbachis, and I could not be happier. Like I'm so thrilled that it's finally, like one of them starting to ripen. I'll be able to actually eat one. My husband's cayenne is looking really well. He's not super into the cayenne because it's not hot enough for him, but he's out here every day looking at all my peppers as well, just to see which ones are growing and ripening and getting big. So the buttes are still looking pathetically tiny, but my hibachi is doing really well, and so are my cayennes, and he could not be happier about the cayenne. He doesn't really care about, like, he likes the sweeter kinds, but he's more interested in the hotter varieties and leaving me the sweet ones because he knows that I won't eat the hotter variety ones. I grow them mostly for him, and I kind of want to maybe make like a powder to like put into like chili over the winter or something, like a ghost pepper mixture or something. I'm not honestly sure yet, but I'm interested in trying to do something with one of those. So my ground cherries are amazing. They're producing every other day. I'm getting a ground cherry off of it, which is really awesome. My husband's not so fond of them because he thinks that they taste like tomatoes, but I am obsessed. They're so delicious and so good, and I'm out here like every day just kind of running my fingers through to see if I can, any will just fall off so I can catch them before they hit the dirt or get on my porch and the wind just blows them away. But they're producing, or it's producing, and I'm so excited. I am obsessed. I'm really excited because they've been really tasty and I get to eat them like every other day. As you can see, my tomato plant right here is producing some fruit. I got a whole bunch back up in here. My tomato plants are loving this weather. They're giving me lots and lots of fruit. The ones up on my deck are doing significantly better than the ones like down in my yard. The ones down in my yard, for some reason, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just location or the fact that like it's just more exposed to the sun for more hours of the day. They keep getting blossom end rot, and I'm not sure why, or at least that's what I think it is blossom end rot, because they're not doing good. These ones up here are looking phenomenal. Like I'm so excited for these ones because they're supposed to be cherry. These ones right here were supposed to be cherry tomatoes, and as I don't know if you can really see it very well, but it's the biggest tomato out of any of my plants is on this so-called cherry tomato. And I'm wondering what the heck kind of cherry tomato. I'm thinking that maybe they sold me the wrong ones. Like I think they might, like the nursery that I bought them from, I think they might have had them mislabeled, because the guy was super convinced like it came with a label of it being like a cherry tomato, but it does not. It's not the size of a cherry tomato. These are humongous. I was expecting to have like quarter size cherry tomatoes, and these ones are like softball size cherry tomatoes, which I'm not really complaining. It's more tomato for me to eat, but like it's not what I was expecting. A lot of my plants have been suffering from the heat here. It is, if I had to guess, it's probably like 95 degrees right now today. Like it's been hot. We've been having a really hot summer here in South Dakota, and a lot of my plants are showing that. They're looking really sad. They're wilting like every day. They're just looking really depressed. So I'm out here. I have to water it like every single day, like twice a day, or else the plants just get sad as heck. And I know that like some places people don't have to water that much, but like if I didn't water it twice a day at least, these things would just be dead. Like they would be dead. There's no way about it. Like I can tell, like I don't water it at the heat of the day, but I do try to get out here in the morning. Like I watered this morning at like 9 a.m. because this part of like my whole entire deck and even down in my yard was just in shadow. As you can see right now with the sun that's in my face, it is not in shadow anymore, and it will remain in the sun until obviously it sets, which has been setting at like 7:38, so it's about almost 3, so I have like 5 more hours of sunlight with 95 degrees. So all my plants are just really struggling, and it's kind of sad to see, but I guess it comes with growing a garden and just being out here, is that not everything is gonna go the way that you expect it to go. And one thing that I'm learning from this garden is that things will never go the way that you expect it to go, and kind of trying to like roll with the way that things are thrown at you and try to make the best out of like what happens. Like I could be upset that my cucumbers died, or I can just take it as like a learning experience and try to like utilize it next year wherever I may be next year, because I won't be living here in the summer next year. So everything I'm learning from here in this hot as heck environment will be completely different than like if I'm living in my home state of Michigan again, or if my husband and I move somewhere else, then it would be completely different experience. So I'm just hoping to maybe next year actually have some cucumbers I can eat, because that would be great. So when I cleaned out my cucumbers, I rearranged my porch a little bit. I put my chair back over there to maybe be able to utilize it during the day. I was trying to create some shade so I could perhaps sit in it. Here's my sunflower, looking sad as ever. It also got hit by the spider mite problem that I was having on my cucumbers. So you can kind of see, I've sprayed it down. I've tried hosing off the spider mites. I've put diatomaceous earth on it to try to kill the spider mites. And it looks pretty good compared to what it looked like the other day, but I can still see some of the little mites on it. I don't know if you can, but there, I can see it on this one. in particular. I can see mites on it. So I'm gonna have to come out here and probably spray it again, because this little thing, there's a whole bunch of mites on that. It just doesn't want to get rid of them. It's just covered in mites. So I'm trying my hardest to demite it, but you know, nature, what are you gonna do? Here's my empty cucumber container. Right now I'm just letting the soil rest. I don't know if I can plant anything. I don't even know if I can reuse the soil, but I'm gonna try. Maybe for like some melons or something, but we'll see. I don't know yet. It's all up for debate. Here's my really pretty flower bush thing. It's being strong. It's withstanding the sun, which I'm kind of impressed by. Then over here you have tomatoes. I could not be happier about all the fruit that is in this tomato plant. They are all looking amazing. It's doing phenomenal even out in the sun. I did water it this morning, and I can tell that I watered it because the leaves are looking a lot better than what they usually do. Usually they're all withered up if I don't water in the morning. Back here is my mint. I've kind of hidden it in the shadows because it wasn't doing so great in the direct sun. Down here is my pasque flowers. They never actually flowered this year, but it's fine. Hopefully maybe next year. Here is what's supposed to be my cherry tomatoes. They are looking absolutely beautiful. This big mama right here, this Goliath of a tomato. I could not be more excited to eat one of these days. I'm just hoping it doesn't touch that metal bar, because a lot of the fruit that has been touching the bars have been turning bad, and I don't know why, but it just has something, and it's just something like a reaction to the metal. So I'm hoping that it stays far, far away from that bar. So here is my pepper. It's turning red. Excuse the diatomaceous earth that is on the plant. I'm just trying to kill off some of the pests. I am still learning how to apply the DT, so it's not going too good, but I'm trying. But that's my beautiful pepper. Looking quite awesome. I am quite proud of it. Here's more tomato fruits. This is on my middle plant up here. I'm having quite a few over there, and obviously my Goliaths over here, but this one's not doing too shabby. Look at all that pretty fruit. Grow, fruit, grow. See, the fruit up here look really good. The plants overall up here look pretty decent. It's just the plants down below don't look so hot. Now over here are all my other pepper plants. They're struggling for their lives. This one had a fruit on it that fell off, but you know, what can you do? The freaking wind. These ones are producing fruit. Look at all of these peppers. I'm so excited. They look so good. I need to come out here and trim off some of the leaves though, because they're looking a little sad. But for the most part, these two little twins here are doing really good. And the two in the back are doing okay. They don't have any fruit on them, to my knowledge, yet. They're starting to develop a few, but they don't actually have any going. My green beans, I'm accepting defeat. The sun out here, man, it'd just be scorching them. My blueberry bush is looking phenomenal. Ever since I've started putting coffee grounds at the base of it, it's actually been growing really well compared to what it was before. Now this is my ground cherry. It's doing really good. I'm quite proud of it. It's producing lots of fruit. It looks a little crispy right now because the sun is starting to hit full force, but for the most part, this thing is a beautiful. I do have to check it though, because it does have was getting SpiderMites and aphids and all that wonderful stuff, so it's kind of a little pasty right now because I've been spraying DT on it. Back here are my buttes. They're both doing relatively decent compared to what they could be, but I wish that they were doing better because they're like the slowest growing pepper plants ever. They're taking their sweet time. Here are my flowers. My little purples are doing really good. My petunias are still struggling for their lives, but surviving, so I'm quite proud of these. They're doing really good. Now, this is really sad. These are getting roasted by the sun, so I'm just kind of letting them do what they do, but they're not looking the best. Here's my borage. It's looking really beautiful. All of the flowers are just so wonderful. I'm so impressed by how well it's doing. It's my favorite plant by far. Out of everything else that I have, this is my favorite. My chamomile is looking a lot better. I laid out some ant traps And ever since I've done that, oh, there's an ant actually in it, which is hilarious. But ever since I laid out some ant traps, this has been thriving. It's been killing all the ants. I've been killing aphids that I find on it. I sprayed it with DT and everything. It's been doing relatively okay. Here are my rosemaries. These three right here, the three sisters. They're doing relatively okay. This one's looking a little crisp. I might end up moving it in the shade. But they're doing pretty well. Haven't completely died yet. I water this puppy like every day is 2. This one down here is feeling crispy. I'm gonna move you. I'm just gonna move it up a little into the shade. It's doing pretty good though. That top one looks the best out of all 3 right now. Now here's where my heart gets sad because they were doing so well. And now all of these ones like right here in this cluster that look like they're about to ripen. Look at this. Look, they're all getting, it looks like blossom end rot. Now granted, I don't really know what it looks like, but I'm pretty sure, oh, this just fell off. Pretty sure that this is blossom end rot because that's like the exact description of what it is. The end of it's rotting. So I'm gonna probably pick off all the bad ones and throw them away. I have to clip off some of these dead leaves too. It's probably not helping it any, but disappointed for sure because they looked like they were starting to ripen and now they all have like blossom end rot pretty much. Now these two, this one had fallen over and I had to like pick it back up and put it back up, but these two are also not doing good either. Most of them are also getting blossom end rot. I don't know what it is, but everything is dying from blossom end rot. So fingers crossed that one of them survives. I see a new little one right there. So maybe that will be the prevailing one because there's some diatomaceous earth on it. But it had other fruit. I had to pick them off though because they were all dying. And then that one fruit over there looks like it's also dying from blossom end rot. Everything is just dying out here. So, disappointed. There was a spider that made it its home. I was gonna leave it, but when it fell over, the spider ended up moving on. So here's a really sad blossom end rot tomato. I'm thinking of cutting it open just to see what the inside looks like because it's so close to look like it's gonna ripen. Ugh, ants. So here's my bee balm. It's doing really bad. It was doing really well, and I feel like the sun here has just completely annihilated it. There are some other flowers in here that I'm not really sure like what they are exactly, but it's definitely not bee balm. I don't remember planting these little things in here. I'm assuming I did like last year. But this year, I was not what I was going for with these little things. I was going for like this big, beautiful thing over here. It's not doing too bad. Most of them aren't doing too bad, but they're also not doing well. So, this is my bee balm planter. Hopefully, if nothing, obviously nothing will grow this year because nothing is growing. But hopefully next year maybe something will grow. So the ferrets think that they need to do exactly everything that I'm doing. And they want to see everything that I'm doing. I'm just like, no sir and ma'am. I keep looking up because I'm looking at myself. I'm like, no sir, ma'am, no. So this is what I'm dealing with. Can you say hello? My house is a mess. I really need to clean. I'm very aware. This is my little boy. Just checking your tummy. Your hair still hasn't grown back. He had surgery not too long ago. Right where that line is. So he's just recovering still. That's what happens when you have hair. Oh. Hi. Hello, handsome. You liking me? Hello. I love them so much. That's my boy. And this is my little girl. She's so teeny tiny, dainty. Hello, Ellie. This is her. She's my baby. Okay. Go play. They don't like to listen. I tell them to go play and they're just gonna stay here and pester me. So, I'm gonna open up that tomato. I'm really curious to see like what it looks like on the inside. So the blossom and rot barely even affected it. I know you can't really see because it's dark as heck. So here's the inside. It doesn't even, and this is the part that had the blossom and rot. So it actually doesn't look too bad. I think I got it like before it really had a chance to mess with the tomato. So I'm super interested in trying to do like fried green tomato kind of thing. So I'm thinking I might do that with this one, because I've never pulled a green tomato. The only one I had close to that is this one actually. So I had to pull this one the other day because from the wind it like snapped it off its branch. So I just pulled it and I pulled it inside to like, because there's nothing really wrong with it on the outside, and I was just gonna see. I know it's not close to ripening, but I was just hoping with all my might that like maybe it would ripen if I left it on the counter long enough, but it does not look like it's gonna do that. So I think I might use these two and do some fried green tomatoes because I've never had any before, and it can't be that hard, right? Like it's fried tomato. So that's my current project with these two. So my current project with those two tomatoes is to do the fried green tomatoes. And for dinner tonight though, I'm making lasagna for my husband and I. And that's what I'm gonna make for food. Sorry, train of thoughts goes out the window when you're trying to distract your ferret from biting your toes. But yeah, so I'm really excited with how my garden's turning out right now. It's doing really well, at least as well as it can be with how the weather is doing. It's hot as heck outside right now. Like, my feet were burning when I was showing you like all my plants on the porch, just because like the porch is just so hot right now that I honestly couldn't, and the fly came inside when I was coming in and out. And pretty busy over here, just taking care of my little munchkins and trying to make sure that my garden doesn't die. So it's been a pretty hectic place. I haven't really been making a lot of videos because of nothing really changing. Everything's dying. If anything's changing, it's something has died. So it's just like the update that I have to give you guys when things just die. So he is so cute. He loves to give me kisses. So yeah, not a lot for this video, but I do thank you for, if you made it this far, for making it this far and dissecting this tomato with me. So I'm gonna get on making my dinner. So I'm gonna make lasagna. Oh, and I'm making it with sheep meat. So I got that at the farmer's market not too long ago. And I've never made lasagna with anything but beef, but I asked my husband if he'd be interested in using the sheep meat for the lasagna, and he was like, holy heck, that actually sounds pretty amazing. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do it with sheep meat this time, and I'm hoping that it turns out really good because it sounds like it would be really good. And if like one day I decide that I want to get some sheep, then now I know like a new way and how to utilize the meat is in like lasagna. So I'm looking forward to dinner tonight because I cannot wait to see how the sheep kind of gets in the lasagna, like how it will taste. I'm hoping that it doesn't taste disgusting. I know it's going to be different obviously because it's not shredded beef, but I'm hoping that it's good still. So wish me luck. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you. Bye guys. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Goodbye. Where's your sister? Hi, Ellie. Hi, Ellie. You're ready to go, huh? You want freedom. He's like, let me free. Go lick me. I love you. You gotta come out by yourself though. I'll be promoting laziness if I just let you walk out with me.